Hi all. Each and every application requires logging, irrespective of framework, either it is a backend or a front end. For a backend, there was various technologies available, various packages, plugins are available. But for a front end, there are only few. Either it will be an SDK or we need to build our own logging for a front end. In this video, we are going to integrate with the Firebase for our logging with our Angular app. The steps we are going to follow is first we will look after our specification, what are the prerequisites required. Number two, we will be setting up how to set up a Firebase account with the Firebase cloud database. And number three, we will be configuring our Firebase cloud database into our Angular application and start logging. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Let's see our prerequisites. As number one, Node.js. You need to install either LTS version or a current version based on your OS. Okay, and number two, you need to install Angular CLI. If you're already installed, it's okay. If you're new, you can install via npm command npm install sng @angular/cli, and you can just create your first Angular project with ng new with your project name. And after that, our third prerequisite is, as we are doing our logging in Firebase, we need to have a Firebase console account, which is Firebase developers account. Once it is created, we can start and we can configure our Firebase account with the cloud Firebase database, and we can create it. So let's see how to create a Firebase database account. Click on the Firebase console. It will take you up to the Firebase console account, and you can just create a new project with the project name. And I hold the existing project here, is Angular best practices. And once the project has been created, you need to add an app. Click on the app and check for the web. It will ask you to enter the web information and just type the information as testing app register. It will start setting up your for the information, and it start the console, and just copy it and put it in the notepad. So then go to the console. So once this app has been added, the next thing you need to do is you need to create a Firebase store database. As we'll be working around with collections, it will be appropriate for you to have a cloud Firestore database instead of a real-time database. So once this account has been created and the Firebase database has been created, and we can get started. And one more thing, there was a rule which need to be configured while creating a Firebase store. Just go with the default option and go with the test option, test environment, so that it will come up with this. It allows you to read and write only available for the next 30 days. As I am created today, it has been provided me for the next 30 days. I can able to make a write. So once this all is done, we can integrate this configuration with our Angular application, and we can start logging, and we can see our logging here in the Firebase. Without any wasting any time, let's get and configure the Firebase into our application. Let us configure our Firebase connection in our environment.ts. We already copied the configuration from our Firebase app. So I have made some modification and going to paste it here. This is the Firebase settings which is been provided from the Firebase web client. I have added a database URL with the project name and firebase.io.com, and there was one more configuration called logging. is Firebase indicates that is the Firebase logging is required or not, and its warning level. If the warning level is based on the warning level, the logging will be getting happen. So we have saved this, and the next thing we need to do is we need to install the Firebase and the Angular Firebase npm packages. Let us install these things. This much handy, which is npm install -, save Firebase Angular Fire. Let us initiate the Firebase installation. And in the meanwhile, as we are going to create a logging services, let us create a service file for a logging with the npm run ng generate service logging. It creates me a service file in the root directory. So the file has been created, just logging services. And the installation is been in the progress, and it is installing all my Firebase packages into our Angular app. So let's wait for a few seconds to get it completed. And let us open our logging services. So our installation is completed. Delete all the sheets. I have handled with this logging services. Just going to copy it, paste it here. Let me go through the code. I have had a level that is configured in the class level. On the initialization of the application, we will be defining it, and for a debugging, info, warning, error, patch, and log. And there was a configuration to set the actual level that we'll be using an app component, and this is the actual logging. The logging which comes up with a message, and the raw data which is an actual errors root, and its level and its parameters. You can have a number of parameters will be getting added into our logging. The parameters such can be a page name or any kind of controls name, those kind of stuff. So, and you can see here there was a environmental configuration, environment.logging. It's Firebase. If the Firebase is been on, it comes here, and I have already created the Firebase storage private variable here, which is connected with Angular Firebase Firestore. If it is, and I'm creating a new collection. If the collection not exists, it will create a new collection, and I'm directly adding all this information to this Firebase. So, and this is the interface which I'm using, which is for logger ID. Each and every collection have its own ID, so that in future we can edit it. And the logged date, log level, message, and parameters, and raw data. And this is the log level. Log level comes up with all debug, info, warning, error, pattern, and off. You can even turn off, and there was a configuration happening here where based on where you need to log this error or not. Even though if the logging is not Firebase is off, it will log into our browser. On upcoming videos, we will be connecting with the Microsoft application Insight and doing our hardcore APIs for logging. So for that, we are having some feature flags. Once this is done, what we need to do is we need to open up our app module to configure this information. So in the app model, what we need to do is we need to initialize our Angular Fire module under the imports. This Angular Fire module dot initialize app, where I already have a configured the Firebase configuration in environment.ts, so I can directly come here, and after that we need to initialize Angular fire store module, which will be available in import from Angular fire dot storage. So, and set. Let us revalidate this. So it is Angular fire store Angular Firestore module and Angular Firestore module here. So once this is done, we have initialized our fire model and our configuration is done. Now let us use it in an app. And one more thing we need to have is we need to add a logger service, right? It's been available. Let's move this upwards here and import from logging services, log services. So our log service has been configured. Let's open up app component and let us implement ng on init. What we will be doing is, and let us create a constructor private fire logger service logger service this dot logger service dot level equal to, where we already configured our level here in the Firebase. So I'm going to use it here. There was a log level interface available there. Environment dot logging dot log level. So once this is done, we are setting our logging level at the initialization time of the application. And let's start logging. Let us validate whether our application is first running. npm start. Let us provide it some time so that it will start compile. We'll get back once the compilation is done. My compilation is being completed. My application is running in the port of 5200. Let's open up localhost 5200 and my application is still running. So let us create some log in the hello model component. So where we need to initiate this service there. Let's copy and paste it here. Our injunction. This dot local service dot, as my log level is been warning, so I'm going to give a warning with a related message. And let us implement the method properly with the try catch so that I can or else okay, log error s dot type catch s dot log service dot error dot message comma error. So here I'm going to throw new error app is not working. So this is the error, and I'm going to create a new button at the top. Container flow button type is button on the click it log error. Just give me change. See the page here in the home page. There was a button called log error with the full size options. Put in the row. No, it's minified. And the margin bottom two. So we will have some space. Once I click this error, it comes down to the component. Let's start debugging so that you'll be able to understand. Go to source, open up hello component. Going to click log error. Going to open log services also. Here I'm clicking the log here. Comes up here, it says the app is not working, and there was the error, and this is the entire error. When it comes up here, you can see there was a raw data message. And this is the raw data which is, and I'm checking is the Firebase is available. If the Firebase available, goes to the Firebase and logs. Now the logging is been completed. Let's open up our Firebase and just refresh it. So as you can see here, the app is not working, and the app enable to get a detailed what is actually the error and where the actual error is happening over here. And it's as it's the same. Meanwhile, you can log it for a warning, fatal errors, and all other kind of stuffs. With the logging mechanism, we can able to solve the logging and wherever the error happened. If the client says there was some issues in the front end, you need to replicate what the process and what the flow you used. If the logging is available on your end, so you can directly dig and where the actually issues happen and based with the file where it is been happened. So with these options, you can able to diagnose the error and you can able to solve this error in a real-time basis if the project is in production. Hope this content will be very useful for you. If it's so, please subscribe to the channel and please on the bell notification on. So we'll be posting a new video each and every week. Thank you and Peace out.